think in the last session, it's taking time to load. Till then, we'll have a review. So in the last session, I think we had performed the CUD operation of main category and CUD operation of category and the CUD operation of products. Okay. Now beside this, we had implemented a change password and logout for store. Now I'll go towards the users, and today what we do, so in the user we'll do the registration, login, logout, and change password you can implement. Search product, we'll try to implement this, and we'll try to create the cart. Okay. Now for user, I'm going to use a template. Gifty web. We'll try to configure this template. So if I open this template here in Chrome, I'll also open one more Visual Studio here. Now this is our project, and this is Gifty web template. Now what I want to do is I want to use the same template. So if you look at here, so I want this part, so up to this part, means from this dollar to home and this horizontal line. So I want to repeat this part on every UI account to this particular line. So I'll put this particular part in a layout. So the first step will configure the template. So we'll put this part in a layout, and I want this slider to be only on a home page. Slider and this 4 boxes, and base sellers that I want on the home. Fine. And when user click in the sign up, so I want to provide a registration form to the user to sign up, then login, and then we'll say logout and account. So we'll put the account here. Now we are not going to use wish list, but we are going to use the account here. Now let's configure this step by step. Now if you go to solutions form, so by default when we run the project, it's showing you this home, index, and it's using this layout. So I'll change this layout. This is the default layout, by default layout. Now to understand more about the template, what I'll do, so I'll open this template in another Visual Studio so that I can view the code and I can understand what is the, which tags need to be copied, and which CSS files or JS files are there. Now go to solution scroll. Now at the first step, we'll focus on the index. So I'll just open this index.html file here. Now in this index.html file, we have few references of CSS files and script files here. And we'll have this options and HTML, and let me check at the bottom. In the bottom it does not have any script. Okay, so I will collapse this HTML tag and I'll copy this HTML tag in a layout here. So I'll override this HTML tag by this tag. And what I want to do is, so I want to keep this part and this footer part. So footer and this header common on every page, and then page will have its own content. So page will have its own content. So this is the footer, we'll keep it as it is. And if we go at the top, here we have some script, we'll not delete it. We'll keep it as it is. Now we have this here. Okay, so we have this header top box and header bottom, and this is menu, this is slider, and this is content tab, and this is container, and this is content middle. Let me check in the content middle what we have. Promotion. So promotion means this, this one. So we do not need these two, these two, so we'll delete these two here. Content middle, content top. I need to put the slider on index, we'll come back to that. Now this is middle bottom, content bottom. So I'll delete this also and this also. Here I'll add one column, so du class core dash md dash 12, and here I will put the print body. Sorry, I'll put the render body here. Then the render body, so I want this slider to be in the home only on index page. Now if you look at here, the slider is only on the home page. If I go to the special or fashion, so that slider is not here. Women's fashion or blog, so that slider is not here. Fine. So it's only on the home. Now to get the slider on the home, so I'll cut this slider and I'll paste it into index action. So I'll remove this div from the index. I'll paste it. So slider will be visible on home page. Okay. And we do not need this about contact, so I'll just delete them. And I'll go to control the home. And here from also I'll delete these two actions. No need of these actions here. Okay. Now by default, when we run this, let us see what happens. So does it get or does it get you expected UI? No. Why no expected UI? Because it will ask you for the CSS files and GS file, because there are references of a JS and CSS files inside the index.html, sorry, layout.cshtml, and this references is not still part of your project, not this layout, this layout, and still this is not the part of your project, so you will not get the expected output here. Now this is index.html file, that's not our project. Now this is our project. Now if anybody is having an issue regarding a voice or screen, so just WhatsApp the madam. Right. Because I do not have microphone right now. Oh, sorry, headphone. So I'm not able to hear you. So I put it this session on record. So we are recording this and we'll put it on the YouTube so that later on you can reference it. Now here, so the output is not expected here. Why? If you inspect it, so just before I told you, it's expecting the CSS files, mega menu, bootstrap, and all these files, and these files is not the part of your project. So we need to add it. So how we can add? So I'll copy that files from Explore. So CSS, images, and JS. Okay, I'll copy these three and I'll put it into my project. So here in a project, now in a project I'll create one more folder called the front end assets. So yesterday we had created a backend assets. Today we are creating front end assets. Now here I'll just paste. Now these front end assets are available here. Then I need to change the paths, because if you look at here, for example, this bootstrap.css, so it's searching this file in a CSS folder, but now the CSS folder is not available directly. This is inside the front-end assets. So it's /front-end assets and this one. So for every path, I need to append this. So I'll just copy this. I'll paste it here. I'll paste it here. Sorry. Now here, I'll paste it here. And we'll have to paste it here. And we'll have here to paste it this. And again, I'll paste it here. Okay, there is one more reference. Here also we have, and at the bottom of the page in this template we do not have any references, but if you use another template you will find the references. You just need to append this path to those references. Now after this, once we save this and if we run this, okay, so now it's looking expected, no problem at all. But what is missing? So slider is missing, because it's expected to have the slider, because this is home index, so home index will have the slider. Now why slide is not happening? Because the path of the images, so we need to change this path here, image path also, and you might find a lot of images are missing. So everywhere you need to go and you need to change the path. Okay. So on the home, we just have the slide. Later on, we'll add few things here. Okay. Then the next step, what I want to do is I want to implement the sign up here. So sign up and login, these two. Now to do that, I will go to the controllers folder. In the controllers folder, we'll add a controller. And in add controller option, we'll go for MVC5 control empty. And here we'll put a name. Manage users support. You can put any name. So I'm putting manage users. Now at the first step, we'll say suppose sign up, HTTP get, and we'll create a view for this. Use layout, and I'll use the create view. And for which table? User table. So I'm doing it directly for the user table, but it's not recommended. Recommended is you create the view model. So now my user table is very simple, so I'm directly using it. But recommended is to create a view model for registration also. Now, but what I have to do is, so this look and feel is not as per my expectations. So I want look and feel like this. So I want to integrate this particular registration form. And for that, we need to copy the HTML from it. So right now, if you go to the sign up, it will look like a plain form that we usually create in MVC application. Like this, but I don't want this. So I want to integrate this form here. So let's try to integrate it. So for that, I'll go to the second Visual Studio, and it is register.html file. Now, if you look at this particular file, so header already will be get available from. We can say menu is also get available from layout. Now this is the form, so personal information, all these things. So main. So I'll copy this main section from this, and I'll paste it here. Okay. Now let's configure it. So I'll cut this, and I'll replace this form tag by this, and here I'll put the curly bracket. Sorry, let me check where is closing form. So here is closing form here, so we'll have this, and we do not need this, so we'll delete it later on. Let's first have the anti-forgery token, so I'll copy this if you want to use it. If you do not want, no problem, you can skip it. Now here we need a validation summary, so I'll just copy this validation summary, and we'll add a div at the top of this with a class. We'll say alert danger, and I'll paste it here, validation summary. Then we have the label for editor for validation for. So I'm just copying editor for and validation message here, and I'll replace this input by this two values. Okay, and similar way, so this is first name, so this is last name box. I'll just cut this, and I'll paste it here in the last name box. Then let me check, we have the email ID here, input for the email ID. So we have the input for email ID, and then we have the newsletter, and we have the login information. So what to do, so I'll just delete this. We do not want to sign up for newsletter. So 1, 2, 3 divs are there, and here we have the 1, 2. So we'll add one more div here. because we have few more things here. So we have the address and we also have the mobile number. So it's address, and I'll just delete this and paste it here, address. Now we'll get one more div for mobile number. So we have this for mobile number. Mobile number. We'll paste it here. And we have the password. And a submit button. Oh, so here we have two things, password and confirm password. So I do not want this. So I'll just delete this. And we need a submit button. So what I do, I'll just copy this div and I'll paste it here. And will not use this form tag. Remove this form tag. Now I think this is sufficient. Let's check this first, okay, how this will look like. Now if you need, we'll make few changes. Okay, so we'll have the first name, last name, email address, mobile number, and the password. So we can also remove this tag. We do not need that. Okay, like this. Then we'll say submit. Fine. Now once we submit this, so what will happen? We'll store it in the backend. We'll say sign up, and we'll see the table. Correct. We'll say if something called merge state dart is valid, so merge state dart is valid. And here, so what we can do is we'll create object of entities. And we'll say entity dart. Return will say redirect to action. So we'll create a do login action where we'll direct the user. I'll add a view here. Okay, so blank view is not necessary. We can add a view, create view for login VM. Okay, so this happens due to this. Login VM is not the part of entity, so we need to remove this data context class. Okay, now we'll change this later on. At the first step, we'll try to check whether this sign up is working or not. So by default, this do login will have a different look and feel. So we do not want that. We'll change it later on. Go to sign up. Oh, sorry. So we haven't linked it. So we'll link it. So for that, we'll go to layout, and the layout will say sign up, action link, call the sign up action of manage users controller. Here also we'll make the change. Sign in, do login. Okay. Now let's run this. So this is sign up here. I'll put a name, suppose Ganesh. Now say Ganesh at hotmail.com. Address, suppose mobile number, password. Oh, so password we need to apply the data type attribute here. That you can do. Now let's just submit. Okay, so Ganesh is registered and now it's going to the login. Okay, now I'll make the changes in login. Do login. So for login, I want this kind of UI, same, and registered customer email address, password, and all this. So where we'll get this UI? So if I go to the template Visual Studio, so here we'll find the login form, and we'll check header top, header bottom. Now menu is available from layout. So this is a main new customer, registered customer, have account, please login. So this is your actual thing that you want. So you just copy this and you paste it here somewhere inside the login form, and then we'll copy and paste to make it MVC form. So I'll just copy this form tag and I'll replace it here, and then I'll copy this anti-forgery token, I'll paste it here, and then we'll have the validation summary. So we'll put one div above this, and we'll have this, and we'll say class alert danger. Now so label is already there, so we need an editor in the validation message form. So I'll put it here, and we'll say password. So I'll replace this, and here we have the curly brackets. Oh, sorry. Let me check. I did something wrong. So I copied and pasted it at wrong location. So this is email address, so it should be here. And the password. Okay, so password I think I had cut and pasted, so it's vanished. No problem. We'll paste the password here. And instead of email ID, we'll say password. And here we have this. Okay. Now just delete this. Now I'll implement the HTTP post action. For this, we'll say public action result. We'll do login. We'll say login VM rec. And in this, we'll say modal validation, modal state that is valid. If it is valid, we'll try to find the user using that email ID and password. So if we get the UREC, if UREC is not equal to null, that means user is available, and we'll create two variables in the session. So first is user ID, and we'll get the UREC dot user ID, and second we'll get the session of username. So I want username also. Also UREC dot sorry, here we have the first name, last name. So if you want, you can have the combination of this. And here from, so I'll go to return redirect to action, index action of a home controller. Okay, and with a return view, we'll pass the rec. Fine. So it will go to the home index. So home index here. So in the layout, I want to make some arrangement here. So I want to show the wish list account only after login. So I'll cut this. I'll say here at that if session of user ID equal to sorry, not equal to null. Fine. Okay. Now here we'll put these two links, account and wish list. Instead of account, we'll say orders. Later on, we'll make the changes to this, and here we'll say change password. And we'll add one more link here, action link, logout. We'll call the logout action of manage users controller. And here I want to welcome message here. So I'll say line welcome and add that session of username. But it will not be that much readable. So what I'll do is I'll suspend. I'll apply the class lead. I'll say alert info, or we'll say warning. So if user logged in successfully, we will do it. In login, I had made one problem here. So what is the problem? That if by chance if user is not found, so what we need to do here, so merge state dot add Moodle error, I will say invalid email ID or password, just like store login. So nothing special. Now I'll run this. Now I'll go to sign in here. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now in the sign in, we'll try to put Ganesh at hotmail.com, I hope. Gmail or Hotmail? Hotmail. So if I put a wrong password here, if I say login, invalid email ID or password here, and if I put a proper password, so it will say welcome Ganesh, orders, change password, logout. Fine. Now we're going to the new line. Let us fix it. So I don't want this box. Okay. So welcome Ganesh Jadhav, orders, change password, logout. Now when we click on logout, now it will get you error because we haven't implemented that action. Now let us implement it. Go to the manage users, and here I will say http get, also public action result, do logout, I think logout, we'll make it do logout, and same thing here. So what we do is the session dot clear, session dot abandon, also return redirect to action and X action of a home controller. Okay. Now we need to go to layout and we need to change about logout here. So do logout action of a manage users controller. Now this is sign in here, and we'll say Ganesh hotmail.com. We'll find orders and change password logout. Press logout. Now it's logged out and it's showing you sign up and sign in here. Okay. Now change password you can implement, no problem. Now the next thing that we want to implement here is search the product. Now to search the product, at the first step I want to dynamically generate this menu. So I want this menu to be generated from database. Okay. So right now we do not have this arrangement. If you look at here, so how is the arrangement? So arrangement is, this is a main category and this is a subcategory and this is category. Okay. What we have arrangement in database, so we have only main category and category. We do not have subcategory. So what we'll do, so we'll show the main categories on this bar, and when I show her this particular main category, so I'll show the list of categories. So I will remove this subcategory, so I do not need that. Let us see, can we do that? Okay. Now to do that, so first we'll go to that section where we have menu. So where is the menu? So menu is in the layout. So if you look at the layout, so I'll keep the home as it is. I'll not do any kind of modification home. I'll just change this. I'll say something called home controller index action. I do not want this special menu right now, but in the means menu, if we look at here, so we have the mega panel, and in the mega panel we have the row and the column. So call 1, call 1, call 2, like this. Okay, so one row will have 3 columns and one mega panel for one menu. So then again second menu, then it has again same arrangement, mega panel, and that mega panel has a row and that row has 3 columns. But right now we do not have that much data to generate the 3 columns. So what we do, so I'll keep this menu as a sample because we want to generate this menu from database. So I'll just delete all the menus, other menus here. So you do not need this blog and all this. Now we will use this menu to generate it dynamically. But if you look at here, so this menu is available in a layout, and if you want to generate this menu from a database, so this layout should be strongly typed, and you should connect the layout to some table, and from that table you need to fetch the data and then put that data here. But that is not the right solution because layout is used in lot of views, so we cannot it's not general practice to make layout view as a strongly typed view. So instead of that, what we can do, so we can create one partial view, and we'll take the help of a child action call and we'll render the partial view using a child action call here. Right. So this is a menu box that we have. So I'll cut this menu box, and here we'll add one partial view in a share. So I'll right click here, we'll say add, and we'll say something called a partial view. So I'll say create as a partial, we'll put some names or underscore menu. You can put any name, and I'll paste it this menu here, and I want to render this partial view in a layout. So I want to render this in a layout here, but I don't want it to be rendered directly. Why? Because this will be strongly typed. So first we'll create the menu so that you will able to understand. So I'll make it strongly typed, and to which we'll connect this. So I will connect it to IEnumerable collection of something called online store app dot view models, sorry, models, not view models. So models start main category. So I'll connect it to main category here. Why it's not going to model? How? Give a minute. Oh, sorry. So we haven't created this edmx file inside a model folder. We had created it outside the model folder. No problem. So for timing, I'll directly use this. So what is that? So main category table here. Now, so in the main category, so I want the name of a main category here, and then here I want the categories from that main category. So indirectly this li will be repeated for every main category, this li will be repeated for every main category, this li will be repeated for every main category. So what I'll do, so I'll put here at that for each, and we'll say where temp in a model, and here I'll put it here, and here what we want, so here want a main category. So where from the main category will be available, so from temp dot we'll see main category. Okay, now then I do not want this h. Now if you look at to this, we have the 3 columns, call 1, call 1, call 2. Fine. So I do not want these 2 columns here, so I'll just say call 1, and in a column we have the UL and it has the categories. So I'll delete all these categories, I'll keep only one li, and I'll repeat this for every category, and where from you'll get the category from the main category. So I'll say var temp1 in temp dot category. So this temp object has a category TBLS here, and that will get you the category from that main category. And here we'll put something called so at that temp1 dot category name. And when I click on this, I will go to somewhere, so we'll see that now just within small time period. Now here after a few minutes, so here this is a strongly type view. So if we want to render this partial view underscore menu directly here using a render partial or partial helper, so where from this data will come. So this data, to get this data we need to make the layout strongly type, but I do not want to do that. So what I want to do that, so I want to get the data from actions. So we'll make a child action call, and to use the child action call, so I'll go to the home controller, and in the home controller, so I'll create public and we'll say action result, and he'll say get menu. And here what I'll do is I'll create the object of entities, and here we'll say var menu equal to, or we can directly return the partial view. So return partial view, and the partial view name of a partial view get menu, sorry partial view get menu, and the data that you want to pass, and data will be, so entity start will say main category tbl start to list. Now we'll call this action get menu inside a layout, and this get menu will render you the partial view with these menu items. So we'll go to layout and we'll call this partial view. So how we can do that? We can do that using action helper. So it's a get menu, that is the name of action, and the name of controller. So name of controller is home. So home controller get menu action, we are calling it as in child action here. Now let's see what happens when we run this. Mama, पानी हाँ काट दो. चालू करा कैसे इतने ढाले करो नीचे लव लगेच मी केल्यासारखं करायला बघते हो. हां मला लेक्चर खाती हो काय लेक्चर करायचं देना देना थोडा वेळ So we got the error here, sorry. Now, so there might be the possibility that we had made some spelling mistake somewhere. So the partial view name is menu, not the get menu. So we had made this spelling mistake. So underscore menu is the name of a partial view. Now run this. Okay, fantastic. So we got the electronics. When we put the cursor on electronics, we are getting the home app and industrial parts. If I click on the books, so it's getting database or programming. Clothes will have the means, women's and kids, and computers, so we have the desktop and laptops here. Fine. Now for time being, suppose if I go to the menu and if we remove this mega panel, and let us see what happens here. Okay, now it's disturbing the menu, so we cannot remove that class. So let me inspect. Can we do something with this? Okay, suppose we remove this row for timing. No, still showing the mega panel. So we need to go to the mega panel class and we need to modify few things from it. So it will take time, so it's time consuming process. So here we have the width 100%, top 40, head index, padding, and all this. Let me make this something called 40%. Okay. Now if you make it support 30%. Okay, fine. So you can make this menu little small by modifying this width. Now where is this width? So this width is available in mega menu.css file at line number 19. So mega menu.css file at line number 19. So what I can do, so I can go to front end asset folder, because this CSS file is available in front end asset folder, mega menu, and we'll go to line number 19. So in line number 19, we'll find width 100%. So instead of 100%, so if I make 25% here, that depends on your requirement, whatever you want. So I'm reducing the size, but if you have a lot of categories, then divide it into subcategory and then category, and then make the multi column row and display them. Okay, sometimes it happens due to browser cache, so we'll clear the browser data. Oh sorry, I think I had made change at wrong place. No, pretty fine. Now refresh this. I'll find this small menu here. You adjust its coordinate to shift it as below the menu. Okay, no problem. Now you can do that design part. Now in the next step, when we click on the home appliances, or when we click on the database, or when we click on menus, or when we click on the desktop or laptop, so I want to show a page, and that page will be similar to this one. So when I click on jackets or something, so this page, and I want to display all the products from that category. So here I want to display all the products from that category. Okay, and then I want to show some filters here as per your requirement, and sorting you can do. So there are a lot of stuff that we need to implement in the ecom application. So this page is main.html, so I'll refer the main.html page and I'll create it. So for that, what I'll do is, so I will create home controller, and in the home controller we'll create one actions, action result, get products suppose, and in this get products we'll create one int64 question mark id. So this will be a product id, PID. Right. So if we say, or we'll put the default value, that is better choice instead of making it nullable. So if PID equal to 0, so what I want to do, so I want to get all the products, and if PID is not 0, or it will be more better to have like this. So PID is greater than 0, we'll sort out the products. So we'll say v equal to, what we'll do, so we'll say entities dot product tables dot where p implies p dot category id equal to PID. CID will make it CID. So we'll pass the category ID as a parameter to this particular action, and as per that category ID, we'll find the products and we'll send it into a view. So get products view. So we'll send it to a get products view. So we need to create a get products view. Right now we haven't created, and by chance if CID is 0 or less than 0, then we'll send all the products. So return view v dot something called entity start, or say product table start to list here. Okay. So when we call the get products with the category ID, so that category ID will be available in a CID. It will find the products using that category and it will pass inside a view. We'll add a view here. Oh, sorry. Now I'll add a partial view. Sorry, no partial view. So view with the layout, get products, and which UI I want here. So I want this main.html UI. So I'll go to another Visual Studio. So in that Visual Studio, I'll open the main.html here, and which section I need to copy, because header menu will be available from layout. So I'll copy this main section here, and so it should use the layout. So I'll replace this here. Right. So if you look at here, so it has again two sections. One is we can say sidebar, this sidebar, and this is three sections. So product section, sort bar, and the sidebar. So here if you look at here, so this one means this one, shop by. So shop by is your sidebar, this box, and then entire we can say this sidebar, and this is your toolbar. So toolbar means this one. So right now I'm not going to do anything about a toolbar. In the toolbar we have the sort options, pager option, and this is your toolbar, and this is actual product. Now if you look at the product, we have the span 2, and in the span 2 we have the single one class, call one of single one, span one of single one, call one of single 2, span one of single one, like this, and then we have the same thing repeated again. Okay, so indirectly we can say one row, and this row has three products. So this is your row span 2, and in that row we have product 1, product 2, product 3. Then again one row, and that row also have product 1, product 2, product 3. Fine. Again one row, and it also has product 1, product 2, product 3. Okay. Now so what I'll do is, for time being, if I comment this to, and if I delete these two products from this, I'll keep only one product, and I'll make this view strongly type, enumerable, so enumerable, and here we'll say something called product tbl. Then I want to repeat this product for every model. So we'll set that for each where temp in model, and here if I paste this here I want a product name, and here we want product description, and here we want suppose price, and here we want an image of a product. Okay, and we'll call this get products action. So this get products action from the menu. So this underscore menu, so where is underscore menu? So we'll go to the shared. From here, so on the click of this, so how we can call this on the click of this? So we can say call home controller get products action and pass a category ID. So where from we'll get the category ID? This template dot category ID. So when we click on the category name, so it will pass this category ID to get products home controller, and what this get products home controller will do, it will find the products as per that category and it will send those products to this view, and in this view we are traversing through that products and we are trying to display them here. Now I'll run this and we'll see what output we'll get here. Okay, now by default it will display all the products. So we have the LINQ, Angular, laptop, C# programming. But suppose if I go to home appliances, so it will get you only home appliances here. So laptop, mouse, C# programming, TV is not doing. Let me check why it's not doing. We'll put the breakpoint here. We'll say home appliances. Oh, so we are getting why. Now why we are not getting the category ID here? Any idea? Any idea? Any guesses? So by default this parameter name should be ID, and if you do not want this parameter name to be the ID, so you need to pass this as a query string parameter. So better option that will make it ID, because route will have the by default parameter with the name ID. So since we are not getting the category ID, that's why it's not sorting here. Now what we can do is, now we'll check. So if I go to the electronics home appliances, now I'll find the home appliances ID here 1. Now it will get you only home appliances here, so TV. Okay, so I'll just remove the breakpoint here. Now if I go to the industrial part, no product is there. If I go to the books, databases, no database, programming, so we have one book, C#. And if I go to the clothes, men's, no. Women's kids, I think computer, desktop, we have one product, and laptops, we have one product here. Fine. And if there is no category ID by chance, then it will show you all the products. Now in the next step, what I want to do, so instead of this price and color and all this, what I want to do, I will display the list of categories here, and when user click on that category, so I want to filter the products here. Now to display the list of categories here and filter the products as per that, so what we need to do, so we need to go to get products view here, and in the sidebar, so if you look at here, so in the sidebar we have this thing here. So what I'll do, so I'll not worry about this, I'll just delete this. So compare products, I'll not going to use this, so I'll also delete this. Oh, sorry, I deleted a wrong thing. So this is your sidebar. Here we have this price, so I'll just remove this. I'll remove this TT. Manufacturer, so this manufacturer, I'll make it categories. But how we can get the categories in this view? So we cannot, because product is getting the product. Now to get the categories, so what I'll do, so I'll cut this particular thing and I'll put it into partial view. So we'll use the partial view, and in that partial view we'll create the category list and we'll render it here. So we'll create the partial view in a shared, so I'll right click here, we'll say add and view, and here we'll say something called underscore category, sorry, so I'll say underscore category, create a partial view, and we have here. Now I'll make it strongly typed, so I'll set that model high numerable collection of category table. Now we do not need all these LIs. We'll remove this LI and we'll use this LI and we'll render it here using for each loop. So for each var temp in model, and in this I just want to display the name of category. Set the temp dot category name, and here we'll call home slash get products, and we'll pass what? So we'll pass the category ID. So it will get me the products from that category. Fine. Now there is one more thing that I have to do here before starting this loop. So I'll add a li and we'll say anchor tag href and we'll say home slash get products, and will not pass any ID, so we'll pass the 0 here. For the category ID we'll say all products. So when you click on the all products, it will carry the 0 to get products. So and when we get the 0 in the get products, it will get you all the products, and when we get the category ID, so it will get me the category. Now how to render this underscore category partial view? So for this also we'll create the child action call just like get products, menu. So we'll say public action result, we'll say get category, and here we'll say return a partial view, and in this we'll say underscore something called category. Let me check the name. Last time we got there underscore category. Okay, now here we'll say something called entities. So we'll say entity start category table start to list. Now I'll render this child action call. So where will render? So I'll render it in a get products. So how we can render it here? So I'll say get products here. We'll set that HTML dot action link for action, and we'll say child action name and the controller name. So controller name is home. Right. Now run this. Now here, let's see, by default it should get us all the products. So by default all the products are there. Now if I say home appliances, it will get me only home appliances. If I say industrial parts, nothing. Programming, so I'll get one product here. Now desktop has one product, all. I'll get all the products here. Now in similar fashion you can put the logic and do a lot of stuff. Now in the next step, what we want to do is we want to add this to a cart. So we want to add this to the cart of that. So to add this to the cart, so we'll go to the get products here, and in the get products, so we are rendering the products here, so we'll add a button here. So okay, instead of button we'll add the action link. That will be more better option. So I'm keeping everything simple, so I'll say something called add to cart, and then we'll say add cart action of a cart controller, and we'll pass the product ID as a parameter. So how will get the product ID here? So I'll say ID equal to, also at the temp dot product ID. We'll pass the product ID as a route parameter to this add to cart action of a cart controller. So add to cart action of a cart controller when we click on this. Now I'll add some CSS to this action tag. So I'll say add that class equal to btn dash danger. Fine. So if you refresh this, so you'll find the add to cart button here, everywhere. Okay, excuse me. Kunala. Yogesh and Sandhya. Okay. I think few people is not able to view the screen. I will stop the screen and I will share it again. Okay, so I am sharing the screen again. Now, Swatibar, are you able to view the screen? Please start your camera so that I will able to view you, otherwise I am not able to view and I am not able to understand whether you are watching the session or watching some movie. I think screen is visible now. I hope yes. Okay, so we'll continue with this. So what we did is excuse me, madam, madam, okay, so I will continue with this. Now, so what we can do is, so we're trying to add a button, add to cart button here. So we had added an action link, add to cart, and when we click on that, we are going to add to cart action of a cart controller, and then we'll say temp.product ID, and then we have this. Okay. Now, sorry. So it's not applying this BTN danger on this. Let us refresh this. Let me check the parameters. So HTML attributes. So inside this CLASS equal to, we'll say BTN, and here we'll say BTN danger, or we'll say suppose success. Let us see whether the button appearance is going to change here or not. Okay, now it's changed. So got the add to cart button in every product, and here we'll have the BR tag so that we'll have some gap between the price and the add to cart button. Okay, now in the next step what we want to do, so when we click on the add to cart button, so what it will do, so it will call the add to cart action of a cart controller. Add to cart action of a cart controller. So add to cart action of a cart controller. Okay. So I'll create the cart controller. Excuse me, what I'll do, I'll join the meeting from my mobile also, so that if the screen is not visible or something happens, so I'll also able to give me a minute. Okay, so I'll keep it here. Okay, now I'll continue with this. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Just show me the thumb if you are able to hear. Are you able to hear me? Okay, no problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so screen is also visible, no problem. Let us continue. Now, so when we click on the, we can say add to cart button of a cart controller. So when you click on this, so it will take you to the cart controller, add to cart action. I'll create a cart controller here. So I'll go to the controllers and we'll add a controller here. MVC5 controller empty and we'll say something called cart. And here we'll say add to cart action. And in add to cart action, what parameter will have? So we'll have the parameter product ID. Fine. And I want to allow this add to cart action to be accessed after login. That arrangement will make that. And how we can make that arrangement? So for that, we will create a cost filter. Just like a store, we'll create a cost filter for user. So I'll say user cost. And the user cost will inherit everything is exactly similar to store, so I'll inherit it from the authorized attribute, and this is built-in attribute available in MVC namespace. And we'll override a method, so which method? On authorization, and in this method we'll check for a session. So if filter context dot session for HTTP context, and with the session, and then session, so we have the user ID equal to null. We'll write a result. So which result? We'll say filter context dot result equal to new, redirect to route result, new. So we'll say redirect to route result value dictionary. And in this dictionary, so what we do, we pass a name of a controller. So name of controller is manage users. Name of action, so name of action is do login, and area, so area equal to blank. So area equal to blank. So name of action, name of controller, and that will be in the form of objects. New anonymous object. Okay. Now I'll apply this filter on the cart. So this will take care that this cart controller actions will be accessed only after user login. So if user is not logged in, so it will divert the user to a login. Now what we are doing in this cart? So in this cart, we'll check whether this product is inside a user's cart, and if this product is already existing in the user cart, we'll increment the quantity by 1. If it's not existing in the user cart, we'll add this product to the cart and we'll set the quantity to 1. I repeat. So in add to cart method, so what we do in add to cart method, in the add to cart method, we will check if product is already exists in user cart. If so, then I will update the quantity by 1. If product not exist, We will add it, and we want to store the cart in a database. So we want to store the cart in a database, and to store the cart in database, we need to create a cart table. And here we'll have the cart ID, we'll have the cart name, sorry, user ID. I'll create here. So this cart is for this user, and we can have the product ID and the quantity and the price. These things in a cart to that. So we'll create a cart table in database. So I'll start with SQL Server. Okay. So SQL Server is taking time. Okay, start it. Now I'll connect it. Now I'll go to databases. Now in databases, it's taking time again. So we'll go to the online store. Tables, we'll add a table. And add table, we'll say something called cart ID, begin. It's getting hanged. I'll say user ID, begin, product ID, begin, quantity, integer, price, decimal, 18,2. Now it's a cart ID, primary key here, and then it's identity, user ID, user table, user ID, and product here. So we'll say product table, product ID, product ID. We'll create a cart table. Oh, I think there is one more thing that I left. Identity is not enabled, I hope. Let me check. So we'll design of this. Okay, so identity is enabled, no problem. And these two are the foreign keys. So product ID and user ID. Product table, product ID and user ID. Okay, no problem. Now I'll add this to the model. So I'll go to our project. Now in the project, I'll go to the ADMX file. So I created this ADMX file at wrong place. So you create it in the models folder. So now there's a new table that we want to add. So we'll not delete, we'll directly right click update database, model from database. So we'll select that table, cart table. So it will get added here. Okay. Now I'll save this. Now here we'll create the object of entities we'll get the user ID. So where from we'll get the user ID? Definitely from session. We'll find the cart records for this user. We'll say cart table start. Where we can say or we'll say singular default. That is better option. We'll say P implies P dot product ID equal to PID and P dot user ID equal to user ID. Fine. Now if carts is not equal to null, that means this product is already exist in the cart. We'll increment the quantity of that product by 1 and we'll suggest save changes. But by chance if that product is not inside a cart, we'll create a product temp equal to cart object we'll say ctemp dot so user id equal to user id and ctemp dot quantity equal to 1. By default we'll have always a quantity 1 and product id equal to so it's a PID here. Then ctemp dot price equal to price of a product. So how will get the product price here? So it's entity dot product table start singular default P implies P dot product ID equal to PID dot product name price. Fine. And we'll add this in a cart. So we'll say entity dot cart tables dot add ctemp and we'll say entity dot save changes. And here from we'll go back to the same view. So which view? So get products view. So we'll go to get products action of a home controller and we'll pass the category ID as a parameter here and that category ID will be available from product ID. Okay. So if you want to go to the same category, then we need to do it before this. We'll say var prod temp and here we need to say something called prod temp dot price. Oh, sorry. So we'll just find the product record and then we'll put its price here. Why I had put it that? Because I need a category ID and I want to divert the user into same page. So here we'll say prod temp dot category ID. So it will go to the same category page. Okay. Now let's run this. We'll put the breakpoint. Now we had made one small problem here. What is that we'll see. So the first thing that we need to change here is this. So we are passing this product ID with the name PID. We are expecting the PID, not the ID. So we'll change this variable name from ID to PID. So it's getting loaded still. Okay. Now suppose if I go to the home appliances, if I try to add this TV 45,000 by clicking on add to product, it will divert you to login. Because without login, we had decided without login, no cart. So as soon as you access add to cart method, so it will go to this login here. Now we need to do the login. So ganesh@hotmail.com, ABCD. Now Ganesh is logged in, but that product is vanished. That product is vanished. This is one problem that will solve. So now if I add this after login, so it will go to the add to cart, or we can say add to cart method, and it's complaining us regarding the PID. So we need to make the PID, then ID here. Simplest, we'll keep this simple instead of making it complicated. So we'll make this ID. So we'll find the error here, and one more location error here. Now I'll run this. So I think one more location we forgot to change the PID. This one. Run this. So I'll go to suppose home appliances, and if I try to add this, so it's diverting us to the login, and if I log in, so it's not adding that product to the cart, so it's diverting us back to the home page, and we need to re-add that product in the cart here. Now it's an add to cart. Now let's see what happens. This is the first product that we want to add. So it will go to the else, it will create the product with the quantity 1, it will add it, and it will go to same view. Fine. Okay. Oh, sorry. This should be redirect to action. So we'll go to this action, no problem. But now one product is added inside the cart of a user. So it's going to show that product in the cart. No, it's not going to show because we haven't made any arrangement to show that product in the cart here. Even though if Ganesh is logged in directly, so I'm doing direct login here. So there is no option here to show the product in the cart. So I want to show the cart here. So cart option here. So what we do, so we'll go to layout, and in the layout, so in the menu, we'll add one more menu, or before this we'll add welcome, or after welcome we'll add. So here we'll say class lead alert ledger, and here I am to show the cart count. So I want to show how many products are there in the cart. So for that, what I am going to do, so I need to count how many products are there in the user's cart, and I need to show the count of this. So for that, I'll use the partial view, and we'll use the child action call. So we'll create a partial view and child action call. It will help you a lot. Now here we'll create one more partial view. So we'll say suppose cart count underscore cart count. Now here I'll just say at that integer, I'll make a strongly type which is connected to integer, and here suppose we have a span, and in this span suppose we have a style padding 3 pixel or 2 pixel, and here I just want to show that model. Okay, now this count is connected with the integer model, and we are just displaying that integer here. Now we'll create a card count action in a card controller. Okay, here we'll create public action result. I'll say get card count, and in the get card count here we'll return the partial view, and in this partial view, so what we want to do is we want to user underscore card count and a count. So how we'll get the count here? So where cnt equal to, we need a user id, so where from we'll get the user id? From this session. Just copy this and we'll put it here with the count here. So it's entity dot card table start singular default p implies p dot user id. Oh, not singular default. What we can do, we can get the count. So count for this user, and we'll pass that count here in a cnt. Okay, so we'll call this child action call. We'll make a call this where in a layout here. And which controller? Card controller. So get card count, card controller. Now let's see. So if we directly logged in, so it should show us one product in the cart. So you will say sign in, and you will say Ganesh at hotmail.com. If we directly log in, so it should show us one here. We're showing the one, and what we do here, we'll say we'll add some heading here. So this cart 1. Now so we go to the products, and if I go to programming books, and if I add one more book to the cart, so it will add this book to the cart. It will find the cart 2. Okay. Now there is only one small problem here. So what if we are not logged in? So if I say log out, and if I try to add a product here, suppose laptop, add to cart, so it's diverting us to the login. Now if I do the login here, now so cart count is not incremented because that product is not get added to a cart. So why this is happening here? Now this is happening because we have the two paths. Path 1, so we are directly going to the login, and we are doing the login, it's diverting you to the home index. Second path is we are going to add to product, and add to product is diverting you to the login. But when we do the login, it is directly going to home index. It's not going back to the add to product. So what it means when user do the login, so login is happening from two, we can say points. One is direct login, another is add to product. So in a login, so we need to make an arrangement. So if login is happened directly, we need to divert the user to the home index, and if logins happen due to add to cart, then we need to divert the user to add to cart. But if you look at here, so we are just diverting to the home index. So instead of home index, I want to divert it to add to cart if this login appears here from add to cart button. Okay, now how will come to know if you get here from add to cart button or from something called we'll say something called direct login. There is a small difference. When you click on the add to cart button, it's adding one ID parameter in the URL. And if you go for the direct login, it's not adding a parameter in URL. So what we can do here, so we'll go to the, I'm keeping it simple. Now you can implement a complicated logic. So we can go here, and what we can do is, now it's diverting to the login. If user is not logged in, here I'll check, so if filter context dot, let me check route data, and the route data will say values, and values of ID is not equal to null. So if in the route data, if we have the ID value, so we'll create one session variable, and in this session variable, so how we can create a session variable here, so we can create it using a filter context. So this is session, and we'll say product ID or PID, and where from we'll get the PID? We'll get the PID here, because when you click on the add to cart button, so definitely you'll have the PID, and we'll put this PID here. Okay, so this session will get a PID variable, or we'll say cart PID. So this session will get a variable cart PID only when user came here from add to cart button. So we'll go to the login, and in the login, so I'll put the breakpoint here. So in the login, so what we can do, so we can check here, so if session of PID is not equal to null, so that means you are here from add to cart, and if it is null, that means you came directly. So if you came directly here, so we divert you to home index. If you came here from add to cart button, then what we can do, so we'll divert you to redirect to action. So which action? Add to cart action of a cart controller, and we'll pass the product ID. So where from we'll get the product ID here? We get the product ID from this. So this is something called int64, and we'll say PID equal to something called convert dot to int64, and we'll say session of cart PID. Okay, so session of cart PID, and we'll pass the PID here. And before passing, we'll clear this variable, so say remove. So which variable you want to remove? So you want to remove the ID variable here, so it will remove the ID variable from the session. So we read that, sorry, which variable? So cart PID. So we had read the cart PID variable, we had removed that cart PID variable, and then we are going to the add to cart method of a cart controller. So add to cart method of a cart controller here. Fine. Now let's try this. Now here, so if we do the login directly using sign in, and if I say Ganesh at hotmail.com, and here we'll say something called ABCD, let's login, I'll run this. So now we are going to the home with cart 2, no problem, working perfectly. Now if I log out, and if I directly go to the computer, laptop, and if I click on the add to cart, and now we are going to the login here, and we'll have this ABCD. Now if you look at here, so now you'll find the product in a session. So this product will be get added here in add to cart, and then it will divert you to home page. Now we'll get the cart count 3. Okay, and you are on the same page, not the home page. Fine, you're on the same page here. So this way you can add this. Now in the next step, when we click on this, I want to show the cart to the user. So I want to show the cart to the user, and then we'll add the checkout action, and then we'll go for the payment and we'll place the order. Fine. Now before going to that, we'll have a break of 5 minutes, and then we'll continue with this. Okay. We'll have the break of 5 minutes, and then we'll continue with this. So no new meeting ID will be generated. Stay in the same meeting. You off your camera and audio, and if you want to drink water and something, you can have it. Okay, thank you. नाही झालं. ब्रेक घेतलाय. बच्चा बच्चू हा मी तेच मला वाटत होतं चिडचिड करायला लागले मम्मा बंद जायचं बाहेर बाहेर जायचे लेक्चर घेतो बा थोडस I hope all are back. Okay. Sachin, are you back? Regina madam? Okay. I think Sachin is not still back. Okay. So I think we can start. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, now screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now here. So the next thing that we want to do is when we click on the card, I want to show the card here. So when we click on the card, we want to show the card. So when we click on the card, we want to show the card. So at the first step, I'll make it hyperlink. So I'll go to layout, and in the layout, so we can make it anchor tag if you want, or you can have button checkout or view cart, whatever. So view cart, and we'll have the cart controller get cart action. So we call the cart controller get cart action. So when we click on this, so now when we use the anchor tag, the text is not visible properly. So what I'm doing is I'll apply this classes here. Now still is not visible. So I'm using embedded CSS. I don't know which okay. So I applied some embedded CSS. So view cart now it's little bit visible. So you can decorate it as per your requirement. Now when we click on this view cart, so it's going to the cart controller get cart action. So we'll create that. Still we haven't created. So I'll create action here. Public action result get cart. And get cart we need the user ID. Get the cart data for that user. We'll say user ID. We'll say return view. And we'll pass this card to this view. Now I'll create a view here. Use layout. And in this view, suppose we'll add a div call dash md dash 10 call dash md dash offset up to I will say to card for suppose session of username. Now I'll create a table here. I'll say class table bordered serial number product name. So serial number, product name, price and quantity, amount, and we'll say actions. So we create these cells in this table, serial number. So in the card cells I want to display the serial number right now. After serial number I want to display the product name. And after that I want to display the price. And after price I want to display the quantity. And after quantity I want to display the amount. So amount we need to calculate, or we need to make provision database. Now here we need to calculate, for which where temp in we can say model, okay, and this view will be strongly typed, which is connected to enumerable collection of card table. And here I will create a row. The first row we need to display serial number. So for serial number we'll make arrangement. Second row we want to display the product name. So we can get the product name here like this. Second row I want to display the price. And third row I want to display quantity. In the fourth row amount we need to calculate it. And the last that action, in action I want to display one action link to delete the product from the cart. Delete from cart, cart controller, new id equal to temp dot cart id, new class btn dash danger. Now we need to make arrangement for the serial number and the total. So here I'll create a variable integer srno. Initially I'll put here 1. We'll create one decimal variable called the total, and we'll put the 0 here. Now here we'll create amount variable, we'll say decimal amount equal to, we'll say temp dot price multiplied by quantity, and we'll do one more thing here. We'll get the total. So I'll get the total here. So I'll say total equal to total plus equal to amount. Now I'll put the question mark here, and here also we need to put the question mark. Now here we'll display at the rate amount, and here we'll display at the rate SRNO plus plus. We'll make it 0, suppose. Fine. Now let's run this and see how this will look like. Sorry. Go to sign in. Okay, we are here. Sorry again. We are doing login new. Okay. Now view cart. We have 3 products in the cart. Now your cart will be look like this. So cart for Ganesh, and here we have the serial number. Is not showing proper here. Let me check how to make arrangement for the serial number. So I'll make it 1 here. Now it will display 1 everywhere. Okay. And at the end of this, we increment it by 1. Not that required here. So now serial number will be 1, 2, 3, and we have the product name TV, C-sharp, and laptop. Now if you look at price, quantity, and the amount 45,000. Now we want to display the total at the end. We'll add one row here. Total. So I'll say total here. This is called pan. Suppose 3. Also 4 calls pan. I'll say class text right. Okay, so total will get here. Fine. And suppose we add a class color danger. So just highlight that row. So total 46,110. Now in the last cell, so we add a button. Okay. Now, so we just added a make payment button. Now here we will do a few more things. Let us try. So the first I will add one more product and we'll see whether the values are calculated or not. I'll add one more laptop in the cart. Now the count is not going to increase, but if you go to the view cart, so you'll find the quantity here too. Now 2 laptops are there and the amount is changed. Okay, so that means calculation is working. Now next thing, when we hit the delete, it's calling the delete from the cart action of a card controller with 1 as a parameter here. So similar to add cart, we need to create this action public read from the cart. We'll have the cart ID. So this is a cart ID. To remove that product from the cart, so how we can remove that? Cart table rec equal to edit dot cart tables dot find ID, and we'll say something called this entity dot cart tables dot remove rec this entity dot save changes return redirect to action. So which action? Get cart action here. Now here we'll say sign in. So I'll say Ganesh at hotmail.com. We'll say ABCD login. We'll run this. So view cart. We'll have this. Now if we delete this TV, okay, now TV is deleted and all the amounts are calculated here. Now if you add the TV again, so if you look at here, now TVs get added and amount is recalculated. Now let me check how much time. 11:19. Okay. Now here, so first we'll place the order, then we'll do some different modification. So before make payment, what I want to do is I want to provide an option here. So I want to get this button in the next row. And you also call span 5. So we'll create a form here. And in this form, so going to add so dip down list with a name, or will span payment mode, and here we'll have the span, we'll have this button. Now in this payment mode, dip down list will add the payment mode. Now you can hardcode the payment modes if you want. So I'll hardcode it here. If it is fixed, now we haven't created database table for that. If you created the table, you can fetch it from the table, put it in the view bag and load it in drop down list. So right now I'm just hardcoding this. So I'll say select list item. So list of select list item. List equal to new list of select list item. So list dot add new select list item. We'll have the text supports cash on delivery and the value. So it's 1. So you can add the modes as per your requirements. So it's card, payment, credit card, net banking. What are the options that you want to add? you can add. So I'm adding two options here. So we'll keep the name payment mode to the step down list, and we'll pass this LST as a second parameter. Okay. Now if I save this and if I refresh this, we'll find here payment mode, cash, card, make payment, and I'll say text dash right. Okay. So I'll select the cash card and I'll make payment. So this form need to be submitted. So where we'll submit this form? So we'll submit this form to the checkout action of a card controller with a form method, something called post. Okay. So it will take you to the checkout action of a card controller. And in that action, so we'll place the order. So in that action, what we do, so we'll place the order. Now to place the order, so we'll create this action, checkout action of a card controller. So we'll go to the card controller, also public action result, card controller. And here what we'll get, so we'll get the payment mode. Because when you submit this form, so it will carry this payment mode value. So as per that payment mode, we can make a decision what to do. Now, so we'll say if payment mode, so if we get this integer variable equal to 1, so payment mode is cash on delivery, so place the order here. Now, or you can write the switch case if you want. Now we have only two payment modes here. So it's if payment mode equal to 2. Also return redirect to action, suppose payment gateway. So configuring the payment gateway is very simple nowadays if you configure the private payment gateway, but we are not going to cover this. I am showing you a dummy page for the payment gateway. And here I will say return a view. Now if the order is cash on delivery, we'll place the order. So I'll place the order. So I'll say user order table. We'll say UREC equal to new user order table. So UREC dot. So I'll say is paid, no, false. With cash on delivery. So when delivered, then it will be paid. So when order is placed, so we'll say is paid, false. Okay. Now we need a user ID. And where from we'll get the user ID? Session. And here I'll say user ID. Then order date, so I'll put the current date and time in order date. So UREC dot. Okay, this is needed only for user order table. So say user order tables dot add UREC. Now also entity dot save changes. Okay. Now next thing that we need to add in order details. Now order details are multiple, that depends on the cards. So we'll find the card for that particular user. And as per the number of products that we have in the cards, we'll add the multiple records in the details. So how we can do that? So we'll say order detail sorry your detail dot product id equal to temp dot product id. We'll see your detail dot price equal to temp dot price your detail dot quantity equal to temp dot quantity and your detail dot okay. Then we need to add order detail, and where from we'll get the order detail? Order id. Oh, where is order id? Did we add it? User order id. Then where from we'll get this? We'll get this from UREC. So whatever the order id that you had created above, so the same order id we are going to use here. So it's UREC dot user order id. Okay. So this, so whatever the order that we are storing here, so the same id we are using here, and then we'll say entity dot user order details dot add. We'll say UORDT, and then we'll call entity dot save changes. We are calling the save changes outside the for each, or you can call it inside the for each. Now once we do that, we'll delete all products from the cart. So once order is placed, so we do not need those products in the cart. So how we can do? So where we'll say carts1 equal to entity dot cast table dot where p implies p dot user id. Then we'll say for each where temp1 in carts1 we'll say entity dot remove temp1. Here also entity dot save changes. Fine. Now what is happening here? So here we have a small problem. So whenever we do some activity, so what we are doing, we are calling the save changes method. Whenever we do some activity, we are calling the save changes method. Whenever we are doing some activity, we are calling save changes. So save changes will be happen independently. It will add the order, then save it, then it will try to add the detail. But by chance, what happens is order is added, and in order detail you got an error. So then your database will become inconsistent because you will find the record in order table, but you will not have the record in order detail table. Same thing might happen. So if order is saved, order detail is saved, and in removing the product we got the error. So then again your database will become inconsistent. So order is placed, but you will find the products in the cart. So I want all this to happen inside a single transaction, and to use the transaction entity framework, so we have a class called the transaction scope, and this transaction scope class is not available directly, so for that we need to add a namespace. So right click on this particular project, and then we'll go to something called add reference. In add reference, so I'll go to the assemblies, and here we'll add a reference to system dot transaction. So this assembly we need for transactions, so system dot transactions here. Then we'll use the using block, and in the using block we'll say transaction scope, and for this we need a transaction namespace. We'll say trans equal to new transaction scope, and once I finish everything here, I'll say trans start complete. Now this transaction scope will take care that all these activities will happen in this transaction. So it will be completed. So it will be permanently saved in database only when this complete method is fired. By chance, if there is any exception occurs, so this complete method will not be fired and it will not be stored in database of that. So now it will be stored in database only when complete is fired, not when save changes. Okay. Now if we go to the payment gateway, slide view here with layout or without layout, so whatever you want. Generally payment gateway page will be always independent, it's nothing to do your website. So we are just creating a dummy page, so payment gateway. So you do whatever you want to do here. So this page will be automatically generated by the payment gateway. So when you purchase the payment gateway from PU Money or Paytm or Razorpay or Paybuzz or Payseal or PayPal or lot of payment gateways are there. So they people will provide you credentials. So they provide you some auth key and user ID and the password and the URL for sandbox account and the live account. And what you need to do, so you need to configure all the details. They'll also provide you the examples how to configure it, and you need to write that code. So you need to write that code as per that particular thing with that. So in general, it's not compulsory, it depends on the payment gateway. You need to write that code here. So once you finish writing that code, it will automatically divert you to a payment gateway page. It will be a page generated by the payment gateway. So we are not going to generate that page with that. And there what we are doing, so there payment gateway will do the transaction, and once the transaction is completed, so in this page payment gateway will accept your credit card, debit card, net banking, whatever that you had configured, and then once the transaction is completed, it will send back the result of the transaction into action, so into your action. So you need to tell that URL, you need to tell that URL to the payment gateway. So payment gateway will automatically send the result to that URL, and once the result is available in that URL, you can as per that result you can make a decision what happened with the order with that, and you can do the modifications. So right now I'm not doing anything special here, so I'm just saying, so html.action, so I'm assuming, so you entered everything proper here, and we'll say something called place order. Fine. Now in the place order action, and in the place order action, so what we do is we will place order action of a card controller, and here we'll pass the one route parameter, and in that route parameter, so I'll pass suppose ID, and I'll pass something called 2 here. Okay. Then we'll have other things like now here, so what we are doing, so we'll go to the place order action of a card controller, and it will have the ID here. And what we do, so instead of writing this code here, so we'll copy this code and we'll place this code here. That is more better option. And based on this ID, we'll just change this flag. If id equal to 1, that means order is cash on delivery, and if order is card or net banking, so we'll say payment is paid. So we'll set the paid to true. And at the end, we'll confirm this to the user by sending it to the view. And here from, so it's a written redirect to action. So which action? Place order action, card controller, and new, and we'll say id equal to 1. Okay. Now it's showing an error. Okay. Oh, we'll remove this else. Okay, no problem. Now here we'll create a view, and in this view we'll confirm the order, and we'll use the layout for this, and we'll send some data to this view. So how we can send that data? We'll say view back dot order id equal to urec dot order id. Okay, and here we'll go to written view, and view back dot suppose order message equal to your order is successful. Now by chance something happened. Okay, we'll display this message, no problem at all. Now it's showing one more error. So here we'll return back to get cart action. Now I'll put the breakpoint here and the breakpoint here in a checkout, and we'll display these two things in a view. And here we'll have the order status, message, whatever you want to configure you can configure. I'm just showing you the message. And here we'll say class table, table dash, import it, and here also order id. Now run this. Now see what happens here. Now if you look at to the screen, so this is something called so we'll check out this. So if I select cash, make payment, and do the checkout, it will go to the place order. Oh sorry, so we had made a small problem here. So we forgot to use the return statement here. Now run this again. Now if I say Ganesh at hotmail.com, now if I say cash and make payment, so go to the place order. So we place the order. So 1, 2, 3 products, save changes. We'll remove the 3 products from cart and so we do the message status. So I think we have spelling mistake in order message. Sorry. So we got the order ID 1 and order message. This will be the order message. Okay. Now I'll create one more user and we'll try to place the order. Sign in. We'll say Suresh and we'll say something called now I'll do some shopping here. So we add a product here. Oh, so we need to do the login for the Suresh. Now one product is already added here. So we'll add some one more product, suppose 2 products. Now if I say view cart, we do the cart here. So this time I'll go to the card. So in the card payment, I'll redirect to a payment gateway. So assume this is the payment gateway page, and once you finish it, it will come back to your action, and then it will have this. So it's showing some error to us. Why? Because I had made a small mistake here. We forgot to pass one parameter. So this is the route value parameter, and the next is let me check. Oh, this is text, action name, control name, route value, and the HTML attribute. Now I'll run this again here. Now I'll do the Suresh login. And here's a card. Payment gateway page, place order. So it will come to the place order. Now paid is true. So that you decide depending on this transaction status written by the payment gateway. And here we have also order status. Your order is successful. Order ID is 2. And your cart is now empty. There is nothing inside a cart. Right. Now this way you can work with this. Now you can do a lot of things. You can show the order list, or you can show the change password, logout. You can do put that order inside the store. Then you can do the dispatch and all this stuff with that. Right. So I hope all these things you can do on your own. Now I think this